This is when situations can get pretty hairy, when the fish run along the shoreline, when you have more than a couple rods in the water. Oops, excuse me. Need some help there, Lois? Yeah.
He gets into that net. He don't like that too much.
No, you gotta have a big net. Keep him calm, and it's about an average size for this lake. We'll just pull out of the water and place it on the mat over here.
Now the mat, we got a lot of rocks here. I know that. Now, why do you use the mat?
The mat is good because carp can be pretty lively when they're on the bank, as you can see right there.
Yep, I can see that.
And basically the mat helps you keep them under control, and also keeps them from hurting themselves too much on the rocks. So a lot of times it's good, you can kind of just like flip it over and control them with the mat. It makes it real easy to pop the hook out. There we go. Yeah, the little hook just barely pops out real easy out of there.
Just amazing how, as soon as you took that mat off, he flipped again.
Yep.
Yeah.
One good thing you can do is, if you keep their eyes covered, that tends to keep them pretty calm. So let's just flip it out.
There you go. There he goes. All right. That's a nice carp.
Yes. It's about maybe 8-9 pounds, somewhere right around there. Ones this size to about 15 pounds, they tend to be the hardest fighters. Off to grow bigger.
Hey, I'm Bob Murray. This is Delaware Valley Outdoors. We're carp fishing. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. I'm Bob Murray. This is Delaware Valley Outdoors. I'm in central Pennsylvania with my good friend Lewis from the Fish Guys from Delaware Valley Outdoors. And Lewis says, Bob, let's do some summer carp fishing. We had a fantastic show, 2 winters ago or whatever it was, on the Schuylkill. And so now we're back up here. And where exactly are we, Lewis?
This is Gifford Pinchot State Park. We're in York County. It's a little bit south of Harrisburg. It's a pretty typical Pennsylvania impoundment. It's a great carp lake.
Yeah, and you got camping here with tent camping, but you have trailer camping, you have cabins. That's a great place. We'll put all that information up on the website later on. All right, we just caught a carp, and Lewis is going to put out another bait for us. So Lewis, go ahead and do that, and then
all right,
we'll talk. All right, I'm with Matt, the other fish guy from Delaware Valley Outdoors. Matt, we just had a carp run towards us, a small carp, but
Yep, little guy.
and we lost him. But now we have to rebait. Now you have a different bait you're throwing today.
Right.
Tell us about what you have here.
Well, actually, the mixture inside here, which is it's a mixture of like corn and other kind of grains that I have. It's also just mixed up with the animal food pellets. So basically, the moisture from the corn kind of helps crumble the pellets a little bit. And I'll also be putting it in a PVA bag, just like Lewis did. But it's a different type of PVA bag, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. What we have here is actually PVA mesh. And so basically, it's like a sock that's fitted over a tube. And what you do is you take a handful of the bait, fill the tube up with the crumble and all the particles and everything. Then you have a plunger stick. You press in there. You can pack it really tight, so it's a really, really tight ball of food. Pop it out.
Put a knot in the top.
Tie it off. And then just tie another knot back on there, so it's ready to go for.
It's like almost making sauce, like a sausage.
It's exactly what it's just like making a sausage. And so what I'll do next is I'll take my stringer needle. I'll place the needle all the way through the length of the mesh stick, and then I'll take my. Do you want to just hold the rod? So what I'll use on my swivel is actually a quick change swivel, so I can pop it off really quick. Just hold that too, thanks. And my leader has a little loop tied on to the end of it, so I can just hook that on the needle, bring my line back through the bag, and then fix that up, have my bait sticking out the bottom end, and this covers up the whole line. One of the really great things about this tactic is that you'll never get tangled. It's always perfect, because if you didn't have anything on the line, your hook could get caught on the line or on the weight. But we'll cast this out there and hopefully get something with it.
All right, let's get that bait out.
All right.
Exactly what kind of bait were you using, and tell us about this, the two pieces that you have here.
Okay, well, what I cast out as bait was mostly corn. What you have here is two different manifestations of a material called PVA. That stands for polyvinyl alcohol. Basically, this is a film, and this is like a little foam that they both break down in the water, similar to like a breath mint strip you may have seen or something of that nature. And you can fill this up with any kind of bait you want and attach it somewhere on your rig, and when it hits the bottom it dissolves very quickly, 15 to 30 seconds, and then you have a great presentation. Like carp fishing, like all kinds of fishing, really a good presentation is what you're after. So the way I prefer to use these bags, I actually use a half of one, and I fill them with a mixture of corn, carp love corn, and a couple different kinds of animal feed pellets, some breadcrumbs. The idea here is you get things of a lot of different consistency. Some float and most of them sink. So when this hits the bottom and it opens, since we're fishing in a lake here, you don't have a current as much as you do in a river to attract the fish to you, allow them to smell what you've got. So the floating pellets go up to the top, and the wind will blow them around, and you'll create actually like a scent trail that goes back to your bait. So the way I attach it is you can actually lick this stuff and stick it to itself like an envelope, any way you want. It's a really versatile material. So,
Licking carp, true carp fisherman.
Yeah. So now I have this bag is totally sealed. All right, the food in here, and the way I like to attach it is I fold it across like this and seal the two sides together.
That's amazing stuff.
That's great, yeah. And then I do one last thing. Something can happen when you use PVA. The one pitfall of it is the first couple times I use it, every so often, you get a piece of corn that actually sticks onto the point of your hook. And you might be sitting around waiting for a fish to come for an hour or two, sometimes even a lot longer than that. You put out a rod and go to sleep, take a nap or something, and you reel in much later to realize that your hook point's been covered up and you haven't caught a fish as a result. So you can take one of these nuggets, and the same thing, you lick and stick it, you push it in here and then fold it over, and that covers up your hook point. So it's totally protected, great anti-tangle mechanism. And there's my complete rig. This whole thing will sink very slowly and just sit on the bottom, and it will burst open and be a perfect presentation.
And then it just opens up, and then that cloud of all that
exactly,
stuff.
Exactly. Some of the pellets will float up, and it'll make a nice little bullseye for the fish to hone in on.
fish hit a little different this time, Lewis. What's the story with
These fish have been acting kind of weird here actually today. This one, I really thought it was a catfish at first. It shook its head a little bit, kind of sat there. You know, it might just be because the water's so warm lately. They're taking it easy. They're not really getting too intense till they get to the bank. You know, this guy, that was really a shock to see it was even a carp.
Lewis, while we're here, let's talk a little bit about the net situation and what you have here. This is just not your average bass net here. What do we got with the net
No,
here?
actually, there's like a traditional style of carp net that it looks, so this is a mesh from that, but it just has 2 sticks here and a cord that goes across the front. That's great for fishing in Europe and places where the incline into the water is very shallow, and it's great for netting fish by yourself really slowly. A lot of places Matt and I fish, it's really not acceptable. So this is actually American-made net. It's a Fraybill True Tracks net. It's a regular hoop net, and we bought this carp-friendly mesh, replacement mesh made by Fox to put into it. It's a 40-inch net mesh is what it's called, and it's much better on the fish. You know, the regular knotted wide hole mesh nets, they get caught in the fish's scales and rip them off. And this one is really convenient, not only because it's a little bit bigger and it doesn't hurt the fish, but it's actually got handles in it to weigh the fish. Let's see where the other handle is. There, so you can actually, you're not going to get the most accurate measurement in the world. It's not IGFA, but you know, if you just want to keep a log of how big the fish you're catching and where, this is great. You can weigh it like that in the net.
That's a great idea. So
Yeah.
Just take it and it's easy on the fish, and it's easy to do the weighing.
Yeah. So get this guy out of here.
You know, I'm still amazed at the tough mouth that a carp has.
Yeah.
You know, and that hook just comes right out like that. You know,
Yeah,
look
well,
how size
it's
of the hook. Now, what size hook are you using on there?
Well, you know, the carp hooks actually vary. It's a little bit different than the American rating system, but this is I think a size 6. It's a hook made by Palatrax. This is actually probably my favorite hook pattern. It's like a short shank, wide gape type hook. There's a variety that you can get that are similar to this, but I think this is the most versatile hook shape.
Okay, let's get this boy back in the water.
All right.
What do you think this one weighs?
You want to weigh him?
I want you to give me your eye.
I would say that fish weighs 12 pounds.
About-
You want to match it up? You want to test it?
Let's test it.
Eleven, 1.
Okay, so you're about a pound off. Now, very good, very good, very good.
Did my best.
That's it. That's good. Now that's a great way. Now you can release the fish right from there.
Yeah. What just happened? That fish was in a snag, and one of the best strategies when you got a fish in a snag is just leave it be for a second. And he pulled himself right out of it. I got lucky. The wind's starting to blow in our face here. I think the fishing's really going to pick up. Matt and I have been waiting for the wind to turn, the waves to be coming at us like this for 3 days now, and just hoping every time we get one little gust that that's the way the wind's going to go. And finally has our last day of the trip. Come off now.
I don't think so.
Came right at me again. Tighten this up real quick. Uh-oh. Okay. Still can't really see what's happening on my line. Thank you.
Nicer fish here.
I think he went around it in a whole loop. All right. Thanks, Bob.
Ooh, there's a nice one. He's heavy. He's heavy.
Well, it's not a bass, buddy.
That's it. No, no, it is not a bass. Back her up a little bit.
Another nice little guy.
Yeah.
This, you know, I mentioned before this water's kind of cloudy. This particular piece of fake corn glows in the dark, actually. So I think that might be a big advantage. I think actually I've caught all my fish so far on the show, even though I had 2 rods in. I've been moving around. I caught all my fish on this one rig. And the other one I don't have a glow piece on, so I think that might be making a difference for me.
With this little bit of in the water churning up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty.
And now for a closer look at today's tackle, Delaware Valley Outdoors presents the Tackle Box. For more information about the tackle used on today's show, go to DelawareValleyOutdoors.com.
All right, guys, we're here with the tackle box section. And Matt, we're going to start with some of the stuff that you have. Why do you like the Power Pro line?
Power Pro's really great line, for one, because of its low diameter. I mean, you can see how thin it is. And I mean, it's great for casting. It's very abrasion resistant. It just overall, it's very sensitive line. So you really can kind of see and feel all the different twitches, you know.
You know, I've noticed a lot of guys going to this Power Pro. I've just been down the shore. A lot of guys are using it down there. Again, just for what you said, diameter, sensitivity,
right,
and abrasion, because you guys are throwing on rocks, they're throwing down on barnacles and
sure,
all that
sure.
kind of stuff. What now pound tester you guys are using? This is pretty heavy duty stuff.
I actually use anywhere from 30 to 50 as the main line. I like the 65 to tie the leaders for the hooks. Not so much because we need 65-pound breaking strain line for the leaders, but because it's a little bit thicker and stiffer. So I like it more for its properties.
The function of it.
Yeah, how it functions.
All right. Now you're throwing this. You guys got some of the neatest stuff going here for this.
Sure.
Stuff. Now here's your weight that you're using, sinker, whatever you call it. But talk about it and why. As you can see it, there's like little humps on this, and plus the hole in there. Why use something like that? Why not just a regular dead weight?
Well, the fishing we did today, it didn't, you know, we didn't really realize its normal function. But normally that food that we packed into the PVA, you can also moisten that up and make like almost like a hamburger patty out of it. And this weight is really great because it holds that ball of moist food
So
really
I can
well.
take the ball, mush it in here.
Yeah, pack a ball around it and it will hold on really well to that weight, and you'll be able to cast it out.
And these come in variety sizes too, right?
Variety of sizes. I like a 3-ounce weight. You know, 3 or 4 ounce weight is ideal for most.
Let's just touch a little bit about this again. And this is your
The PVA mesh. Yeah, this is the whole PVA mesh system here. You have the container, then the tube that the mesh fits on, and then the little packer that's inside of the.
So it comes in one kit, one fits
one
all.
kit, yeah.
Okay. Got a little bit here. This is the safety patch?
That's the whole safety clip system, and then the small quick change swivel at the bottom there that fits, you know, perfectly snug inside the safety clip.
And it really does. I mean, you have a variety of reasons for it, because if
Sure.
it breaks off, the fish can go. It doesn't hold the weight on.
Sure,
And
sure.
All right, these guys got some of the greatest little things I've ever seen. Tell me what I have right here.
Well, right there you have basically imitation bait. You know, so we have the glow-in-the-dark fake corn, the regular fake corn, and then the little round things. They're actually a fake nut. But the great thing about all these different fake plastic baits is that they float. So you can make a rig that will float perfectly, just hovering off the bottom of the lake or the river. And it's easier for the fish to suck it into its mouth because it's a balanced weight. The other great thing is they're plastic and it's very durable. And for instance, we have the glow-in-the-dark corn right there, which most people would think that you would never want to use any type of piece of glow-in-the-dark plastic for carp fishing, but in some cases it really means the difference between catching and not catching.
Well, I know when we went down there to put the bait in, you could see it actually sit in that pot of thing.
Right.
A few things we got here. Another cool thing is these rocks as weights.
All right, well that weight is a part of what they call the stone system, made by a company called Palatrax. It's this whole business that comes together to get the most natural presentation possible. Aside from that, as Matt mentioned, we usually use pretty heavy weights, 3 or 4 ounces, and that's lead most of the time. One of the big advantages that I see with this is if you do get cut off, you're not dumping 3 and 4 ounces of lead in your favorite fishing hole at a time. It's actually just a natural material.
This is just a stone.
It's a
drilled
reel
through, and
yeah.
you have a little.
That's just a sleeve to protect your line. It fits in there. It all pressure fits, just like the clip that Matt talked about. It's got a special quick change swivel that's part of the whole system that actually slides into there and is covered by the whole system. It's all
and it's protected by that. And then it's just right down to your hook with your fake corn and your corn on it. Okay, and it comes in a variety of colors and sizes.
Yeah, the first one was called, they call it the Lilo system, line in and line out they call it. But they have it with clips on the end so you could use it in a safety clip like Matt was showing.
Right there, we can use it on that
too.
Okay, now your other terminal tackle that you guys like, what do we have here?
That's a quick change clip, similar to Matt showed. Like I said, that fits right inside the rock, and you have no metal outside where your weight is. So you have nothing but line going in and line coming out.
Now, I'm amazed at the hooks that you use on these fish. Tell us about the hook.
All right, this is one of my favorite hook patterns. I'd say I use it the most. It's a wide gape hook, also by Palatrax, called The Hook. There's a similar styles that you can get. This is probably my favorite one. It's got a wide gape, a very short shank, and just a slight in-turn to the eye. It has great properties for hooking fish using this kind of rig and a hair rig. I use a pretty small hook. This is a size 6, and sometimes I even use a size 8. And I catch fish very easily up to 20, 25 pounds on a hook this size without being concerned about it.
I'm just amazed because we're catching some fairly big fish. And the other thing I like about this, it comes right out of fish's mouth. And carp got, I don't know if we call it a rubbery mouth or whatever. Yeah. It's pretty thick because they're sucking on the bottom. But that comes out really good. Now, tell me about this stuff right here. This is is cool.
So we've referred several times to corn throughout the day today. We haven't been using corn out of a can. We've been using corn, most of which we cooked ourselves. We buy it in a 50-pound bag. It's all a very intense investment for someone who might be getting into carp fishing. But using sweet corn doesn't really work out with these kind of rigs as well as you would like it to. You lose it, and you won't find out that your bait's gone because you have 3 ounces of weight on there and so on. So they usually refer to this as maize. It's also sold as deer corn, field corn, but Dynamite makes this already made for you. So if you're interested in getting into carp fishing and you want to use a bait that's a very successful bait in America, you can see what you're looking for, for consistency by getting this.
And this comes, you can buy this?
You can buy that just like that. They have a variety of other seeds and stuff like that. Matt mentioned some fake nuts. Actually, they're called tiger nuts. That's a great bait we've used on many occasions. Dynamite, they have tiger nuts, hemp seeds for chum, all kinds of boilies like we showed in our last episode with you.
And for more information about any of this stuff that we're talking about, go to our website and you get all the links and everything that you really need. One other thing, carp fishing kind of, I'm not gonna say it's a lazy man sport. It's pretty intense, but boy, you guys can know how to relax. What do we have over there, Louis?
Oh, all right. So over here we have a piece of tackle that I resisted getting for a long time called a bed chair. It's actually, if you're gonna fish for 24 hours a day, for 3 days straight, getting in and out of a tent with an air mattress and so on, you can take you a little bit longer than you'd like to get to a fish. Plus the air mattresses, lose air. This is the most comfortable thing I've ever slept on in the outdoors in my life. And I'm really thankful that I got it. Actually, the bottom of the seat flips up like this, and you can sit on it this way, or with it open, the back goes down. It's pretty much like a cot. It's a great piece of tackle.
And little shade you got behind you, or the tent or umbrella, what is that?
English people would refer to that as a brolly. It's just an umbrella, really. That's Matt's, his version here. It has some flaps on the side. It's great at keeping out the wind and the cold in the wintertime. It's a little good for shade. In the real extreme heat of the summer, it gets kind of hot underneath.
Yeah, but it'll keep you out of the rain. It'll keep you warm in the winter, and
yeah.
That's the tackle box.
So all you really want to do is just tighten up. You feel the pressure from the fish. You just kind of let them do the work. Get a little tighter. You always want to have the drag set nicely because the fish can pull the hook right out of their mouth. See, it's interesting. This one ran straight out and then turned around and came straight back at us.
He's going at a comfortable clip there.
Yeah, this one's a little bit bigger than some of the ones we've had earlier.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, this is a nice size right here. It's going to be a little feisty because swam right back at us, didn't put up much of a fight. Oh.
What's that about not putting up much of a fight?
Yeah, see now it's back in it. That's why you got to have the drag adjusted nice and loose because when you're using braid, when you get a fish close to the net, that's when they tend to really go crazy and make some deep runs. So you want to have that drag set just loose enough so you can absorb the lunges of the fish. That's the other advantage of these long, somewhat soft rods is they absorb a lot of the lunges. All right.
Oh, let's look at this one here. Oh, God. Hey, guys, I want to thank you an awful lot for bringing me out here. God, Lewis, Matt, tell you what, go to our website, Delaware Valley Outdoors. The Fish Guys, they have a wealth of information. If you're any interested about carp fishing, gadgets, stuff, go to our website, talk to the Fish Guys. Hey, I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you on the water. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's a nice fish there. Something's happening.